the podcast. On today's episode, never quit. Some of the best advice that you might receive all day long. Never quit, never quit, never quit.
Say
Or
it 3 times.
never quit. Never quit.
Never quit.
That's right.
Welcome back to the podcast with just these guys. Got Pastor Mike on the mic.
We got Dr. Parker in the house. So it's always an interesting thing whenever I'll send you a text, especially if it's later in the week, and I'll be like, hey, any thoughts on what you'd like to conversate about? And you just fired back this never quit.
Never quit.
And I thought, okay, yeah, that can go in a lot of really good directions.
And you thought I had something in mind, didn't you?
Yep. And so I walk in here this morning. I'm like, okay, so never quit. What are you thinking? And you were like, why would I be thinking? Let's just talk.
I never quit thinking.
Yeah. But this whole idea of never quit, that is some mighty powerful advice.
Sure.
In a world where it certainly feels, and maybe every generation says this, but it certainly feels like we are living in a generation that it's super easy to quit.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that the reason is that we're more concerned with our feelings than we are our commitments.
I think we're more concerned with our feelings. I think we're more concerned with other people's feelings.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And I don't, back in my day, I don't want to be the old guy on the corner yelling at kids to get off his lawn, but it seems to me like people's feelings get hurt so easily these days. And they, contrary to what we teach, but they make other people responsible for their feelings.
Sure.
So you can't say that, you can't think that because it offends me.
Mm-hmm.
And my advice to, of course, we're always talking positively, but the idea behind it all that's been around for eons, never quit. And after I said that, maybe that's a good topic. And you just mentioned generationally, Winston Churchill got up before the university and said, never give up, never, ever give up, never, ever give up. And, sit down.
And he sat down and changed the world. Imagine what the world would look like if he hadn't made that inspiring speech and been that type of leader. It would look completely different. And so, pretty amazing.
And 2,000 years ago, Paul said, yea, though I've not achieved all that I'm, set out for, I press forward towards the goal.
Yep.
Do not quit.
Yep.
Do not quit.
So we all have
Never
examples.
quit.
Yeah, we all have examples of things in our lives that, especially the older we get, we can look back on, and we could certainly choose to be regretful of them. For me, one of them would be quitting college.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start to think, but if I hadn't actually quit college, I wouldn't be the amazing house painter that I am today. I wouldn't have the opportunity to really fight through back pain. I was in Manhattan this last weekend.
Hydrogen water.
Yes, so many things that are the cure. I was just in Manhattan. I love the fact that you sent this never quit idea, because I was with Dawn and 3 other couples. There's a total of 8. But so anyway, up early in the morning.
We're doing math here, folks.
Yep, I've got that's why I quit. I've got a cup of coffee in my hand, and I'm going for a walk. I'm walking in the city that I quit college in. We're up there for the KUK State game. Go Wildcats, another victory. Anyway, I'm walking around the block. We were staying in this really awesome 1800s VRBO And so I'm up early. It's a beautiful morning. And what I was thinking about is how thankful I was and grateful I was for the life that God has blessed me with, which includes failing in college, failing to graduate. But all that has done for me over the years is motivate me to fail forward. And so one of the advice that I would like to present as an idea or a thought to chew on is, we're all going to fail.
Yeah.
We are all going to fail, but we have a choice. We can either fail mildly or we can fail boldly. And failing boldly for me is trying things that are outside your current abilities, trying things that are going to stretch you.
Sure.
Attempting to do things that you've never done before, which really, when we succeed at those, it's amazing. And when we fail boldly, we learn. Life teaches us.
You were not given a spirit of fear.
No. And so the reality is we can choose our regret. Are we going to regret the failing mildly, or are we going to try to fail boldly or succeed boldly? Because we're going to fail. Bottom line.
Well, I think when we quit, obviously we miss a lot of opportunities at that point. When we quit, we can't go forward in whatever we were trying to be successful at. But then you mentioned regret. Then that sets us up now to feel like a failure if we define ourselves as a quitter.
Sure.
And then to spend the next 20 years living in the regret of having quit. And Michael Jordan said, never quit. The first time you quit, it becomes a habit and you'll never stop. Never quit is not just about this one particular moment, but everything that can follow after that when you do it.
Yeah. You talk about Michael Jordan. This is the same guy who didn't make his junior high basketball team. This is the same guy who he claims this, I suppose it's the truth, that he has missed more game-winning shots in the NBA alone, but he's missed more game-winning shots than any other player because he took
the shot.
He took more game-winning shot attempts. And so, but the ones we remember are the ones he made.
And that's the great thing about never quitting is you become an inspiration for other people.
Yeah.
Not only do you eventually succeed if you never quit, but sharing that with other people, that's the inspiration, because everybody else is walking around in fear and worry and stress and doubt and afraid to take a chance. And once they start, then they, are critical of themselves, highly critical of themselves. And they quit. If they meet a lot of resistance from others, then they back down. And for somebody to face a lot of obstacles and to stand up in the face of a challenge and not quit is highly inspirational.
Yeah. Well, there are two habits that are developed in this topic, and that's the habit of quitting, because it does become a habit. As soon as things start to get tough, we just quit, and that becomes the natural thing to do. That's the habit that we have formed. The other one is persistence. The other one is perseverance. The other one is overcoming. Every time there's a setback, we realize it's just a setback is just a setup for a comeback.
Man, I love this guy.
And so
he takes the negative and flips it into a positive. Never quit, persevere. Never quit. Set it up to tee it up to make it a success the second time.
Yeah. Embrace the challenge. Embrace the fact that, okay, yeah, there's going to be setbacks, but again, that's just a setup, baby.
Do a Curly Joe and go back at it again.
So another example for me of an experience of persevering. I wish I just had so many of those stories that I just can't even keep them all straight. But I do have to search for them. But was the idea that I always getting started in the story is the hardest part. Getting the airplane off the ground. I was approached by someone who wanted a deck built. and it was a 37-foot wide. And I think about this because I'm currently building a deck. 37-foot wide deck by 12-foot projection with two areas where there was a 45-degree angle because it came out. The house was shaped that way on the backside, and it was 12 feet in the air with no stairs. So all of the work was going to be done off of a ladder. And so they approached me and they said, "Hey, do you build decks?" And I said, "No, I don't build decks. I've never built a deck, but I know somebody that does." And so I thought, this is a great opportunity for me to learn how to build a deck, and by watching this person do that. Well, they came along and they were like, "Yeah, let's go for it." They were there for a week and they left. The professional deck builder is now out of the building. He's no longer in the picture. And so I'm left learning how to build a deck. And not just an easy deck, not a deck down, off of the back of a trailer house.
Yeah, the 10 by 10.
Yeah, nice little square. This was, again, a 37-foot wide deck on the back of a house in an addition called Harbor Isle.
So $1 million home.
Yes, where all of the decks on these houses are actually falling down into the sand pit. And so there was a lot of movement, and I had to get this thing figured out. And by the way, the owner of this said property is not just an engineer. He is the owner of an engineering company.
Oh, snap.
So he's a tad particular, as he should be. And by the time we got done with this, my new partner and I, who I brought along to help, we can build a dang deck. I'm telling you right now, it was composite. It was all the good stuff. That's the only thing that's going to go on this house. And so, but we put that floor in and tore it out 3 times.
Wow.
We got some serious practice. And they had so much incredible patience. I can't believe how patient they were. But they kept saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to just move on?" And because they had plenty of money, they could have hired somebody else to come in and do it. And they was like, "Are you sure you don't want to just kind of throw the talent on this thing?" And they said that to me 3 different times. And all 3 times I said, "I just can't give up.
Boom.
I can't give up. I have to win this. I have to figure this out. And I will. If you'll give me the time and the opportunity to do it, I'll figure it out." By the end of the project, the most valuable thing was the knowledge, was the learning, was the habit of persistence. And so that was the first deck that I've built. I've built maybe 8 or 9 decks now, and I love doing it. And building one, as I said, I got a project going right now.
And because you didn't quit,
you've
now got a whole new career.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something that I can. The taste of victory,
bam,
does more to build your confidence. That little negative voice that's in your head, he hung out with me for a solid month and a half, just tormenting me, telling me, you need to give up. What are you doing? You're not a deck builder. You're in your freaking Harbor Isle, dude. This is a nice house. What are you doing? You're going to mess this up. There's waves in that deck. I'd lay there every night and be thinking that, and I just get up and go and never quit.
Never quit.
Never quit. So that's, for me, one of the more recent victories that has given me the most benefit.
And look at what you've come out of it with. Yeah, your personal gain, but that's a hell of a story. Because how many people would, quit and then have a different story to be telling today?
Well, especially when given the opportunity that many times,
right?
And so it would have. Most people would say, "Listen, it would really be wise for you to just quit. You need to just
hang your head, tail between your legs,
learn what you've learned, which is to not say yes,
stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane, keep painting."
What the hell were you thinking? You could be a deck builder? No. Go sit down.
Yeah, this was a heck of a project too. We had to carry all the lumber, all the composite, all the stuff clear around the side of the house, down a hill, and then back up the hill. We took every single not to get too detailed here, but every single joist we took that we had already hung, we took them off of the house. And you have to go every 12 inches on composite. So we had to take them all down. And again, we're 12 feet up in the air on ladders. We had to take them all down and haul them back up the hill, take them to my house, and run them through we set up a little jig where we planed the top of the joist. So they were perfectly level. No wave, nothing. And man, I'm telling you.
No shims in this thing.
No. And as I look back on it, I think, what an amazing experience. One of the toughest experiences I've ever had, but one of the most amazing experiences because there was victory by never quitting.
Persevere.
Mm-hmm. So that has taught me a little later in life lesson, and I'm so thankful for it. Never quit.
Never quit.
Just go try something.
Kids out there, listen, never quit.
Go for it. Do something. If there's something that you've been thinking that you want to do, but you have been hesitating because you've never done it before, go for it. Life is short. Life is short. I was walking around in Manhattan, Kansas in the morning with a cup of coffee in my hand going, how did we get here? 57 years of age. I was just 18, 19, 20 going to K-State.
Blink.
And here we are. It goes fast, folks. And so if you're listening, just go for it.
Live or die free.
Go for it and never quit.
Never quit.
Never, ever quit. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Mike, for an inspiring story. Hey, we are just these guys.
And thank you for never quitting this podcast. And I don't care if anybody else enjoys it. I do.
That's why we do it.
It's right.
We love it.
Yep. Have an awesome week.
We'll see you next week.